Hello, I'm Dr. Hein and welcome to the Math Bunker. Today we're going to find the y-intercept and the slope of a line by just looking at a line on a graph, okay? And so let's look at our first line. First thing I want to know, this is a positive slope because if the line goes this direction, reading from right to left, it's going up. That's one thing to take note of. So whatever our slope will end up being, it will be a positive answer, okay? Now, to find the slope, we're looking for the rise over the run. And so what we're going to do, we're going to find 2 points on the line. And one of the points will be right at this corner of a square. You see that? Where this vertical line meets this horizontal line. We'll call that a point. Now we'll go down to the line and find another point. And so we have 2 points, okay? I'm going to count the rise, or how many units it goes up, and how many units it goes over to get back on the line. So I go off the line by counting units up, my rise. It rises 1, 2, 3 units, and then it runs 1. Because it's going up, it's a positive number, so my rise is positive 3. Since I'm going to the right, it's also a positive number, so my bottom number, my run, is positive 1. So my slope is 3 over 1, which 3 divided by 1 will simplify it, and we'll say the slope is 3. Another thing I want you to keep in mind, anytime that the bottom number is 1, your answer will always be the top number, okay? Any other number than 1 is the bottom number. I want to keep that as a fraction. Okay, and so that is the slope of this line. Next, instead of using the word slope, I'm going to use the letter M because M stands for slope and y equals mx plus b slope-intercept form that I'll discuss later. So instead of writing that long word slope, I'm going to use the letter M, and that'll stand for slope. And so our slope is 3. The next thing we're going to find is the y-intercept. The y-intercept. Okay, instead of writing out y-intercept, I'm going to use the letter B. And B will stand for my y-intercept, okay? So my y-intercept is literally where does this line intercepts or touches the y-axis. So looking at the line, it touches the y-axis at -1, okay? And so my y-intercept is -1, and my slope is 3, positive 3, okay? So let's do another line. Now, reading from left to right, I notice that my line is going down, so my slope is going to be a negative slope, okay? And so let's count the rise over run after locating 2 points, okay? Here's a perfect point where it lands on the corner of all these 4 squares, or where the vertical line meets the horizontal line. Going down the line, here's another corner, okay? And so it's going down, so I'm going to count backwards, -1, -2. So rise can go vertically up or down. In this case, down. My rise will be -2. Now to get back on the line, I run in a positive direction to the right. So my bottom number will be 1. So once again, 1 is the bottom number. I'll use the top number as my slope, or -2 divided by 1. It simplifies to -2. And so again, we have 1 as the bottom number. Our answer will be -2 if we're looking for the slope. And again, the slope is the steepness of the line, okay? The y-intercept, notice that the line touches the y-axis at the origin, 0, 0. So my y-intercept will simply be 0. So I have a slope of -2, a y-intercept of 0. Now let's look at another one. Let's do 6. Question 6 on this worksheet. Okay, just looking at it, it's a positive slope. It hits 2 on the y-axis. So let's work on this one, okay? So the rise of 2 points, I'll use this point, the y-intercept, go up the line. Here's another point, okay? I notice it rises 1. It goes up +1. Then it goes to the right, +2. So therefore my rise is 1, my run is 2. And I'm going to leave that as 1 over 2, okay? So my slope, steepness of the line is 1 over 2, okay? My y-intercept, it hits the y-axis at 2, Okay, so therefore my slope is 1 over 2, and my y-intercept is 2. If I was to write this in the form of slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, m is my slope. I would write y equals 1/2 x, and since the slope is positive, I will say positive 2. Again, I'm Dr. Hein, and that's how to find the slope and the y-intercept by reading a graph. Thank you for joining me in the Math Bunker.